Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I would scale a brand email marketing within 90 days. And it's very reflective of the watertight systems that we've developed over years and years of doing this here at Seed. For context, we've worked with over 100 e-commerce brands at this point. We've generated in over 40 million in email revenue for these brands. So we know a thing or two about this. And this system, is catered towards getting obviously quick wins and getting revenue in the door, because that's how we're going to really improve performance over a 90-day window. But it's also engineered to build long-term brand equity with your audience and set momentum for significant results in a short window, but never at the expense of brand integrity. So, the reason I specify this is because a lot of marketers will say we can get you extra results within a certain amount of time. But oftentimes that comes at a cost, and the cost will be long-term brand and customer loyalty, because it's easy to just bombard your audience with sales. It's just easy to run a promotion, 2 or 3 promotions a month, and get quick wins. But what you're doing when you do that is you're clearing out the funnel, but you're not necessarily nurturing the funnel and rebuilding interest and desire within the funnel. And we're going to get into that. So what I would say is don't rush this and don't be lazy. I don't know where you're at with an e-commerce brand right now. If you're watching this, you might be already doing hundreds of thousands a month through email, or you might be a really promising brand looking to establish quality email systems, and you want to know where to prioritize your time. And if so, that's the video for you. There's something to learn here from everyone. So don't rush getting the email set up and really scaling your brand. And everything I'm going to share with you here, if you just get it right over a 90-day window, this is going to be so integral to your success as an e-commerce brand and your ability to scale your brand. Essentially, email is integral to, and any top e-commerce brand owner will tell you how important email is to their success and growth long term. If you get it right, it's going to increase your customer lifetime value, LTV. It's going to give you high conversion rates. It's going to increase your ability to convert customers for the first time. It's going to help you give a higher average order value, and it's going to open up more business opportunities, and you're going to have less cart abandonment. So I've detailed out all of those things here in a bit more detail, and I'm going to link all of this whole resource in the video, by the way, so you don't have to worry about it. But a bit of an overview of the process. Give it away here. So firstly, we want to get clear on your brand positioning, your target audience, your core offer, and do a brand email workshop. I just don't think many brands do this properly. We're working with brands now that are doing £300,000 or £400,000 a month through email, and they hadn't done this properly. So the amount we've been able to help unlock by doing this has been profound. We want to prioritize a high converting sign up form. We want to create a flow map first, and then follow a proven system and prioritize the basics when it comes to core flows and do them well. We can get rid of that one. We want to create a 30-day campaign calendar and start to ramp campaign sends. If you really want to move fast, you're going to have to know how to leverage AI or hire a copywriter for strategic on-brand copy. You're either going to have to do it yourself, which will take a lot of time, especially if you're an e-commerce brand owner. Doing this is going to take a couple of hours a day. So this is why people bring on agencies, but you can hire a copywriter or use the AI prompt system, which I detailed out in a lot of detail in a previous video. I'm going to link to that video within the video notes. I definitely recommend you check that out. Then you want to get a great designer, line up all of your content, get it over to them, and start implementing as you go. And if you do that, you're going to make profound jumps within the next 90 days. So step number 1, know your customer better than anyone. This is something that most brands skip out of, but if you do this right, it's essentially going to give you the roots that are going to inform everything else that you do long term. The amount of brands that we speak to who upfront haven't really got a strong brand identity, so when we start asking them questions like brand tone of voice and competitor they admire and designs and other newsletters which they love, they don't know any of these things. So you're always going to be fighting and walking uphill. So we recommend that you go through this exercise. We put all of our brands through this exercise. Do you know who your customers are? Because understanding your customers is a foundational task for retention marketing. You need to know your customer, who they are, what do they look like, what their needs are, what their pain points are, and the questions that they have. So if you collect the right information on the front end, it's going to help you create way more impactful customer journeys and more relevant content. And all of the prompts that I'll give you later as well through the alpha prompt system and everything that I've built, it's essentially going to be a copy and paste exercise. I'm going to save you even more time than I've already saved you creating that whole AI prompting system. So this is a bit of a window into what it looks like for some of our brands. We ask about brand tone of voice, what are your core features, ask a bit about the Welcome Series offer, for example. We ask them about what's the vision for the brand, what's their ideal customer profile, who is the ultimate target audience. And really we invite them, especially on a call, to do this in a lot of detail, who are they, what's their lingo, how do they talk, what TV shows did I watch? Because if you can tap into, and this is something that I'd really encourage, especially in the campaign area, if you can tap into culturally relevant references and you can speak the language of your customer and be on trend, you're going to get so much more engagement. You're going to seem way more cool, relevant, and on the ball. And that's that's sort of what gives a lot of the top brands the magic, is they get it. They're sort of tapped in to their audience, and they speak to their audience in a way which is actually going to resonate with them. So, like, you don't want to take the same tone of voice and apply it to the wrong audience, and that's just not going to resonate, and it's not going to create that cult-like following which you're looking for. So I recommend going through all of this. I'm going to leave a link to that within the video notes. And then next, I would either hire a copywriter or use my Alpha Prompt system to create an in-house AI copywriter who's essentially going to 10x your productivity and your creativity, but with sophisticated enough prompts to make you sound like no one else in the market. Because at the moment, I can smell when a brand's just using AI badly. I can see when an agency is using AI badly. And it's not at the moment whether or not you use it, it's how sophisticated are you using it. So I cover all of this in another video, but in my world-class prompting system, I've essentially poured over 35 hours in building out prompts for every different flow as well. But everything is staked on how well you build the first alpha prompt. And this has got a lot of details. You see section 2 here, there's 4 or 5 other sections. So you need to go through all of that. You need to understand your customer, and then you really need the copywriter to get that. When the copywriter gets that, then he has a proven process to follow. You're going to kill it. You're going to absolutely crush it. And the next thing you're going to have to do is get a high quality pop-up in place. Essentially, your Klaviyo sign-up form needs to convert 7 to 50% of your web traffic. That's an ORC rule here, because you can have the best customer journeys on the back end. You can have the best content funnels, the best visuals and ideas over email. But if 7 to 50% of people aren't signing up to your email list on a monthly basis, you're leaving a ton of cash on the table. It's going to hurt your ability to convert first-time customers because you can't retarget them with high-quality customer journeys, you can't really nurture them, and it's really going to hurt your ability to get a high returning customer rate, because unless they just remember to purchase from you, and unless your product had such a profound impact in their life, they come back, they might forget, they might end up spending their money elsewhere, they might not know what else you've got on offer. So you really increase your likelihood of converting and retaining when they're on your email list. So you want to maximize the percentage of your website traffic coming onto your email list. And the way that you do that is by crushing your pop-up form. So you've got 2 options. You can use Alia, which is what we do for around 90% of our brands. Their UX is superior. Their team there is fantastic. If you actually sign up using one of our links, you can get half price, which is pretty mad. We get some affiliate revenue from that. It's not a big deal, but it's definitely a good deal nonetheless. I think like starting price is like $100, $200. If you use our link, it's like $100, which is really, really cool. And their UX, they test for you. They're so profound to work with. And oftentimes we've seen sign-up forms from Alia getting like 20% plus. So if you've got the budget, if you're doing over like 40 grand a month, like this should be a no-brainer. You should use these guys. If you're not quite there yet, I recommend you get inspiration from Alia nonetheless. Go look at their template library, get some inspiration on visuals, and then you want to endeavor to create this sign-up form yourself within Klaviyo. Don't stress, before we started using Alia, we were still getting 15% sign-up forms using Klaviyo, so you can still do this, but if you're going to do it, here are some key principles, because Alia will take care of all of this for you. If you're doing it yourself, you want to make the offer clear and bold. You'll see that as a theme across all of these emails here. Clear and bold. You don't want too much copy, because too much copy weighs down the sign-up form and it waters down the power of the offer. Sometimes we see brands who aren't really sophisticated with like leading DTC marketing just espouse loads of like fluffy copy, like sign up to receive like latest offers, and we're going to give you exclusive drops and new promotions, and like tell you what it's like to be in the world of our brand. And then it's like, oh, and you got 15% off in like the smallest way. Really, essentially the offer, which is the only thing people care about, swamped by a load of nonsense copy, essentially. This is not just opinions. This is something we've tested like hundreds of times. It's clear. The offer needs to be bold. It is the incentive for people to sign up. They don't really know you at this stage, so you need to attract them with a sexy offer and treat them to be willing to impart with their data to get onto your email list. That's definitely the mindset you need to have. You need to give people a reason to sign up. And also, the reason we love Alia so much, and if you have a good designer, they can actually help you recreate similar kind of quality looking pop-ups here, but you look at the UX here, it just looks so premium. It looks like you've invested in it. And for me, this is the first taste of your customer journey. So if you make it look sexy, you subconsciously communicate that you're a cool brand that's quality. If you've got like a really hacky pop-up which has got the watermark of MailChimp or Klaviyo, straight away you're indicating you don't even have the money to invest in your own marketing, and it's going to make you seem like a really cheap brand. And with the abundance of options customers have out there, you almost need to convince them that you're bigger than you are. And that's a mindset thing as well. You want to look like you're bigger than you are. If you're just launching, you want all of these touch points to look as good as possible. So you want to make it look quality. It's subconsciously going to make people attracted, and it's going to give them a dopamine hit, and it's going to make them want to sign up because it's going to subconsciously communicate the quality of your products. Then you need to test ongoing to get 10% plus. When you get 10, 12, 30% plus, you don't need to go as bananas on the testing. But before, if you're not past 3%, you really need to go bananas on the testing. The test I recommend making is offer, one of the most highest leverage tests that you can make. If you nail it, you can run that offer for years, and you can then make it synergize with your ads that you're running and make sure it all works out really nicely. You need to make sure you're not giving away too much of an offer on the website. This is something that we help consult brands around. Oftentimes I'll see like their bundle sales, they're giving too much of a discount up front. What we recommend is, so then for example, for them to give more of an offer over email, it means it's going to hurt their margins far too much. So you need to know your metrics and like your margins, and you don't want to give too much away on the landing page. You want to pretty much make the best deals only accessible through email, because it's going to be the lifeblood of your e-commerce business. Like we've got brands who are doing 50% of their revenue through email. Meta can have a weird week and email still chugs along for them. And if you don't build that asset, which is your audience, through the sign up form, you're going to struggle and you're going to fall upon hard times, especially if like TikTok gets banned, who knows? So we really want to master this, get the offer right, don't give too much away, put all of your best deals behind email, and maybe re-engineer the offer on the landing page if you need to. That's okay. You've got to protect your offers behind email, treat your subscribers exclusively. Some of the offer tests that I like to make is a percentage off, a fixed amount off. That's probably like the legacy one that I will always make, a percentage off versus a fixed amount off. You can also run mystery discount. Typically that comes after, because a mystery discount is going to be one of these two offers. It's either going to be a fixed amount off or a percentage off, and then it's just disguised as mystery discount. I guarantee you go through this, it's 10%. Or 15%. So firstly, figure out which one works best. Then you can try and position it as a mystery discount, see if it performs better. Other offers, if you're sort of less able to give bigger margins, would be maybe free shipping, maybe a free gift. And if you really want to smash it, you can do like a free gift and a percentage off, or free shipping plus a fixed amount off, things like that. Another great easy test to make is timing. I like 5 seconds and 15 seconds as my first go-to timing test. Gives me a feel on whether or not the audience prefers a longer or shorter wait. Then after that, once I've got a clear sense, or if it's shorter or longer, then I sort of test in between. So if it's shorter, I'll do 3 and 5 seconds. If it's longer, I'll do 15 and 20, and we go from there. And again, you don't have to do this forever, but it's until you get to that 10% plus. Style, this is the 3-step. It's a 3-step simply because we're not asking for their email address straight away. They have to click a CTA, then we reveal another form where we ask for their name and email address, and then there'll be a success page. So it's a 3-step. It's micro engagement. It creates some interactiveness in the sign-up journey. Often this one wins. This is what most brands are rolling with at the moment. But I'd always test it against a classic where you just ask for the email address straight away, and then a little bit later, collect some zero-party data, run a quiz, understand your customer preferences, their goals, their pains a bit more, create segments off the back of this. You can use this a little bit later. Really, really cool. Step number 3, this still should be in month 1, is your flow map. And you want to master the basics. On LinkedIn, there are so many different flows that you can make. Really mastering the basics well can get you around 85% of the results when it comes to email. They're things you can develop later, and we can get into that in another video. But you really want to just think high quality, welcome flow. You want to get a high sign up to placed order rate, because once we smash the sign up form and you're getting 10 to 15% people signing up to your website, you want to be getting a 10% placed order rate on the welcome series. And the only way that you do that is by having really high quality visuals, a really well thought out customer journey, good content angles within that, and following best practices. That's how you smash your welcome flow. You should be looking to get a 10% placed order rate there as a theme. You want your abandonment flows. You really want to get all of them if you really want to scale over these 90 days. Cart, checkout, browse, and site. Again, I've got prompts for all of these with all of the best practices we've distilled over working with 100 brands here. So I've saved you a lot of thinking space here. And you want to get the post-purchase flows in. And I really think one of the flows evolving the most in the email marketing scape in 2025 and beyond is the post-purchase flow. We want to delineate, we want to separate into separate flows, previous purchases and non-purchases. We want to cross-sell, we want to upsell, we want to nurture, and we want to treat returning customers and first-time customers differently. So we really want to nail the post-purchase. You want to customize a proven framework for your brand, especially in this period. Following a process here is actually good, but you need to take all of the insights gathered from the brand mastermind in point one and make some nuances. For example, your brand and products have their own USPs. Your brand has its own story to tell. You have your own specific cross-sell and upsell opportunities, and you have your own fulfillment times and processes which will affect post-purchase. You're going to have replenishment cycles which are unique to your business. You can get these metrics through Shopify. Again, all specific to your business and will mean you have to tailor some of the proven frameworks that I'm going to give to you. But you want to make this unique, totally on brand, but follow a proven framework. For example, and the reason I say this is because I'm all about you want your emails to look unique, not the same as everyone else's, but there's actually a blueprint behind it which is proven to work, and there's nothing wrong with following that. For example, a great stand-up comedian actually learns the science of crafting a set, iterations, setups, hooks, pacing, timing, right? Then he finds his own style. The same is for ads and email. You want to master the basics, understand the science behind what's working, follow proven formats. Like, for example, consumer psychology doesn't really change all that much. It's just the execution of it. So you need to learn those basics. Then in time you can optimize. And as your brand evolves and your understanding of your audience evolves, you can break the rules, because then you know your audience in a way that you don't at the moment. So for now, get the basics in place, do it well. You can get 80% of the results when it comes to email marketing. Are there more flows that you can get in place? Sure. Overwhelming yourself only leads to inaction and nothing done well. I've seen many brands coasting on getting their emails set up badly, and they're trying to get really complicated, over segmenting, trying to get in really nuanced flows, and pretty much running before they can walk. So if you do all of this well, I wouldn't overcomplicate things. But I do recommend you get a flow map in, and I specified this. So instead of just going like a bull in a china shop into Klaviyo and building out all of your flows, I recommend copying a mirror board like this for yourself, so you can see top down all of the flows that you're running for your brand. So you can put your own logo here. And we've got all of the different content pillars. For example, a well thought out welcome journey, what we recommend. We've got little cues here for different things I would prioritize in each particular email, like welcome, offer above the fold, having a bridge section with either some creative brand building or some iconography or an infographic, and then a shopping guide, for example. We've pretty much done this for every flow that I'm covering within this 90 days here: abandoned cart, browse abandonment, post-purchase, and the difference between purchases or non-purchases. And then you need to go into this, look at each email and go, okay, with my business in mind, with my product in mind, where would I change this? Within the welcome flow, for example, like on email 5, you're going to see here, I'll just briefly get into it, you're going to see that there's a value-based email in number 4, excuse me. So you might need to think, what is the most important thing we talk about for our business there? Do I need to double up on that and maybe increase an extra email and put that as email 7, for example? Slight nuances here that really, use common sense, go through the brand mastermind in step 1, and then make some nuances here for your flow, get the plan, and when you have set an email live, I would fill this as green so you know when things are live, and then I would come back to this every month and have a feel for where you're at, what you want to develop, what you want to change, and I would compare it with its performance. But don't worry about that for now. I would build this mirror map here so you've actually got another source of truth around what you're doing with your flows. When we started doing this, it just gave us so much more clarity, so much more organization. It's really like making your bed and cleaning your room. Otherwise things start to get really messy, and you want to own your strategy outside of Klaviyo as well. So really recommend this. And if you need help after the alpha prompt, as I've mentioned, I've crafted and detailed the prompts for every flow in the AI prompting system, which will give you as good a copy as an in-house copywriter. Really, the way it's built is crazy. And especially with a great pilot guide in it who understands the brand and knows how to iterate, it's going to be mad. So I've shared that all with you. Then once you've start working through the welcome flow, go through the site abandonment, go to the browse abandonment, go to abandoned cart, go to abandoned checkout. I recommend going and essentially building your flow sequentially as you go through the customer journey. You can go 2 welcome flows, 1 browse, and build like that, which also makes sense. And I think that's a smart way of doing it, because oftentimes the first 3 emails of the welcome flow are the highest performing. And I recommend building 1, 1, 1, 1. 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. That also works well. So you could do it either way. There's no real wrong way there. Then I would use the alpha prompt system or use your copywriter. Essentially give them the briefs, give them the strategy, give them the proven frameworks, and get writing copy. I would write it all out in a Word document or in a Notion doc. If you use the alpha prompt system, it's already baked into the algorithm that it's going to give you subject line, preview text, hero image header, subheader, CTAs, body copy, additional details. All of that's already programmed within it. So it's really going to save you a lot of time here. And you should be able to you want to get all of that out. Follow the best practices, follow the prompt system, and essentially you're going to get high quality emails written specifically for your brand with all best practices, but entirely unique to your business and your unique service and all your unique product, etc., and your customer base. So that's what you want to do, get all of those flows live and get them live. So then you've got essentially some of the foundational evergreen flows live in place, written like a top copywriter, understanding psychology, persuasion and positioning. Then you want to ramp a campaign plan, step 4. Example of what a campaign plan looks like for our clients, we run with 3 a week. That's kind of the ideal that we want to get to. If you're doing like 20, 30 grand a month, you really want to be, as an e-com brand, you really want to be doing around 3 emails a month. 2 to 3 is definitely the sweet spot. Resends would actually lead to more sends as well, and I recommend doing that once a week or every bi-weekly with like high-performing campaigns. But the main detail here is to provide good content and emails people want to open. So you want to inform, educate, inspire. Those are kind of my key principles when I'm thinking about how to ideate a campaign plan. This is a great example of like touching on so many cool design elements like beautiful GIF, nice transitions, interesting backgrounds, infographics and product annotations, nice different sections, flows really, really well. This is kind of like what you want to be aspiring for when it comes to your emails. It's Cold Cutter Chai, really cool brand. But the way that you really nail all of these content pillars here for your brand will be specific and will be unique and will anchor back to everything that you did in the brand mastermind doc, because then the question is, okay, how do I create campaign ideas? How do I come up with campaign ideas? You can use my prompting system. I created a campaign calendar prompting system for you. But really, you want to be looking through like your customer goals, your brand features, your products, and you want to cycle through all of those different things. So the best campaign strategies that I've seen have premium creative, holistic and thoughtful content pillars. So thinking about educating, informing, inspiring, talk about your products, educating your customers, giving them just entertainment through storytelling, value, and also showcasing your products and occasionally giving them a nice offer every now and again. And then there's loads of cool like seasonal events that you can lean into, things like that. They also learn and iterate through sending. So this is the big one. For example, you might start sending a certain type of email and realize, oh, that's really high performing. I didn't realize that. So you might be a supplement brand and you might start, it might be just geared around men's testosterone, but you might send a sleep email and go, oh, wow, our products actually do help people sleep. And people seem to really respond well to when we send sleep education emails and tie it to the product. So that's now going to be a consistent content pillar. Now you've learned, you've iterated, you might even add that to the welcome series, and now you're getting a fast feedback loop and really like re-consolidating and reinforcing your customer journey with content that you know slams and know resonates with your customer. You need to understand you have to nurture the funnel as well as sell to the funnel. I said this at the very beginning. If you just sell, you're going to get audience fatigue, you're going to burn your email list, and you're going to pretty much undo all good work. So you need to be sophisticated, be thoughtful, send good content. You want to develop a send time cadence backed by data. If you look at this one, it's pretty much Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. And we know this because over time we just know this kills with our audience. So I would go wild at the beginning. Do intelligent, common sense send times. Look at some sort of blogs on like when are the best send times, Sunday evenings, Thursdays, Tuesdays, lunchtime or evenings, those kind of days. And then over time, start to get a feel for what send times work best for your audience. You can literally use Klaviyo to just tell you that. The AI algorithm will just tell you what send times work best for you. And then stick to those, build consistency, and your audience will start to get used to it. And for the most part, you just want to send to an engaged audience consistently. So like a 60-day engaged segment. If you can get 55% open rates plus and send to a 90-day engaged segment, I would do that. And occasionally I would ramp up the list and size of segments. So I would send to like a 120, 180 day engaged segment, or the whole list if I'm doing promotions, new drops, Q4 sending, or like maybe some national events where just you want everyone to see it. So occasionally you can send specific emails to like unique segments that you might have created from the quiz, zero-party data segments. But again, this is a bit more advanced. It wouldn't be the first place I start, nor do you need to do that to get to like 45% of revenue. You really don't, but it's a great way to like start to get that extra percentage and that extra performance a little bit later down the line. Then you just want to get it all designed. Invest in creative. Like we're living in an era of creative, beautiful emails, cool emails, are going to be what people expect these days. Most brands overlook the importance of a well-designed, great-looking email strategy. This doesn't mean everything needs to look like Picasso. These are some of our designs. They're all absolutely awesome, but this is because I know how to hire world-class email designers. I'm going to teach you how to do it in a second. But it also doesn't mean everything needs to look like this. For example, Reformation on paper, I guess, are a bit more basic. I mean, they just let their model shots and their lifestyle shots do the talking, so that's where they over-index. But essentially, it's just image, 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 no cool backgrounds here, but it makes sense. It's actually appropriate for their product category, for their niche. They understand fashion, they understand their demographic. So the detail is also hiring a designer that understands your niche, understands what the market, what's working well within the market. That is part of it. It's not just making everything flow and have curved edges and have infographics. It's understanding what's appropriate for your niche, for your audience, for your product category. So Reformation is totally on brand there, and it's totally trendy for their audience. So the point is to find your style as well. You also need to find your style, and if you've got already a unique brand identity, you want to run with that, and you want email to be a microcosm of what you've already built. So for example, if you've got sick branding, sick landing pages, and you've really invested in that, email needs to be at that standard, if not better. We've seen this time and time again, when a brand really nails their identity over email, sales come in predictably. Like, we've worked with brands who are already doing $500,000 a month in email. So on paper, things are already going well, 30% of revenue, just by they came to us to ask them to overhaul their designs and take it to the next level because they knew we really valued creative and they saw a lot of my content. So we helped them do that. And simply just by increasing the creative, not even changing the content angles here, we took them from 30 to 40% of revenue through email, and total revenue is rising, by the way. So we're not just cannibalizing existing revenue. It's an important distinction. The creative can absolutely transform, because it creates a feeling, creates emotion. People want to open your emails, and if they consistently open their emails, they're going to eventually get a high click-through rate. Simplify things, but ultimately it does this. You want to make people want to open your emails, and it just works. I see it with my wife all of the time. She goes, "Oh, look, this email's awesome." She always opens the emails from those brands. Sooner or later, we've got a delivery at the door. It just works like that. So you do that with consistency. You start to build a loyal following and a high returning customer rate. Now that's a scalable business, especially with everything else that I've shared with you. So hire a good designer who loves email, but also brand. So I personally look for a designer who's got experience with Klaviyo email marketing, but also has got branding experience, and has also maybe even designed like products, labels, things of that manner. Those are really passionate graphic designers, and those are the best results I've ever had for Oracy. They're the ones who just sort of rise to the top here at the agency, win Designer of the Month, get promoted, things like that. I'd also sort them out with I would also get access to Panorama yourself. At the very beginning, I asked you to sort of lay out brands that you love. I would recommend doing that. Then I would get them into Panorama, which is pretty much a database where you can track all of the email creative for every brand that you could possibly want, every email that they're sending on a daily basis. And this is a great way, so you can then send the copy with email inspiration from Panorama as well to your designer. And there's no way that you're just not going to get great results if you give the visual cues as well. So send over inspiration. Invest in your own brand identity. Set yourself apart with the look, feel, anatomy, and creative of your emails. You do all of this, get the basics right. Email's absolutely going to crush it for you. You're doing pretty much 90% of all of the key things right. So of course, you could do this all yourself, but naturally, we help brands with this all of the time. We don't work with everyone. But if you're open to it, I'd love to offer a quick intro call where I walk you through how we approach retention here at Oracy. Our chats are super casual. If it feels like there's a fit, here's what we'll do. We'll send you a free in-depth Klaviyo audit, totally for free. We'll send you a custom email design, usually a welcome series, so you can see our world-class creative in action and why it's different to every other email agency. We'll also, this is the great part, we'll help predict the exact revenue we believe is being left on the table for you. And we'll send you a proposal backed by a guarantee that if we don't hit that number, you don't pay. So we'll send you a full game plan with a money back guarantee. We'll also send this to you without a second call needing to be booked, so you can digest it in your own time without feeling like you're being pressured by a sales call, so you can make a smart decision for your business. I think that's a pretty good offer. If that's something you need right now, if you're an e-com brand doing like 40K a month plus, and you want to find a really sick email team that you can scale with long term, get in touch with Oracy. I'll leave a link to book a call within the YouTube bio. I'll leave it within the bio, and hopefully talk to you soon. Otherwise, see you on the next one.